Good morning, everybody. We are here we're on the Northern Beaches, and right now we're at a place called Fisherman's Beach. And you probably recall I've taken you to Long Reef previously, but we're actually down here at Fisherman's Beach right now, which is where I usually end the Long Reef tour. Hi Tish. Okay, and hi Anne, is it? Now, we're trying something completely different today. I needed to find a way to reinvent the way I do things. So, hi Lisa, great to see you. We haven't seen you in such a long time. Lovely to see you here. And hi Dawn, great to see you as well. All right, so we're starting in the car. To put it bluntly, let's turn the camera around, and once I start driving, I'm not going to be able to turn the camera backwards and forwards. As I said, this is something completely new. I bought a camera mount yesterday, a dashboard mount, and here we are. Good morning. We're in the car. I can see Alicia. Once I start driving, I won't be able to watch the chat either. So let's get all that all that out of the way. All the chatting done with you. You're just going to have to chat amongst yourselves once I get started. And hi Mary Lou. I just saw you pop up. Obviously, once I start driving, I'm not going to be able to glance across to the chat very often. But we are here in the car. Good morning and hi Quinn. So this is something a little bit different, as I said. It's one way to save my ankle. It's another way to actually see things differently because, you know, I realise that there's so much landscape that we're all missing just because I'm just walking around a particular place. But there's so much more to see. So I hope you enjoy this. Did Joanne come on? I think I saw someone say hi, Joanne. All right. So as I said, we'll see how this goes. We're winging it today. I also realised that with the dashboard, I'm seeing 180 degrees, you're seeing a very, very narrow perspective of that. And a lot of it may just be the road because of the way the camera's pointing. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to pull in at lots of beaches and we'll see what the surf looks like. Let's see what the surf looks like here at Fisherman's Beach. And before we begin, I'd just like to acknowledge that we meet today on the traditional lands of the Gadigal people and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. I've noticed I just missed a long comment from someone here. Hold on. Ronnie Lynn. Hi, Ronnie Lynn. Hi, Jay. And was there someone else I missed? I think I've got everybody. All right, let's turn the camera around. Okay, so here we are at Fisherman's Beach. And as I said, anyone who's been on my Long Reef tours, that's Long Reef just right over there on the right-hand side. And this is where I would typically have ended my Long Reef tour here at Fisherman's Beach. There's no surf here this morning. Let's get going. And that little warning is that I don't have my seatbelt on, so we'll do that too. Can't reach the camera. And let's turn the music off. Once it lets me, I'll turn the music off. Venus, we're listening to Venus. And I'm not going to sing along. We're going to turn this radio off as soon as the car lets me. All right, there's Long Reef Golf Course we're just passing. And up ahead of us is Collaroy Plateau. It is 6:45 here on, where are we? Saturday. It's Saturday morning, isn't it? And hopefully the view is steady. So it's about 10 minutes before sunrise. And here we are. We're at the Northern Beaches. We're just going to pull up to the main road, which is Pittwater Road. And wait to turn right here onto Pittwater Road. And I can quickly, a little bit wobbly, is it Tish? All right, I'll try and drive as calmly and steadily as possible when we get out onto the road. Thursday evening. Oh, it must be Friday. If it's Thursday evening, it's Friday then. Sorry, I'm a day ahead of myself. And is that Richard? You can do 100. He wants me to do 100 along Pittwater Road, which is not what I'm going to do. And I'll try and get this vision straight as well. Hold on, let me see. Can I get that a little bit straighter? Is that better? I think that's better. All right, let's go. And I'm going to ignore the chat now and pay attention to the road. So, Richard, you might be able to help out if you spot something that we're passing. We used to live in this part of Sydney for quite a few years. I grew up on the northern beaches. That bit was a bit bumpy, wasn't it? We'll pull into Collaroy and have a look at the surf at Collaroy. Collaroy typically is not a surfing beach. Typically it is a very small swell, and it's great for kids because it's a way to introduce kids to the surf in a safe way because of the very small, typically small swell. So let's see if we can get into Collaroy here. Collaroy was named after a shipwreck. And up ahead of us, you probably can't see, it's just a little bit out of the frame, is a really lovely old Art Deco cinema just on the right. Oh, sorry, on the left. We just need to wait for these cars to come and pull into Collaroy. Okay, so this is Collaroy Surf Club in front of us. There's not much more I can do with the angle of the camera, unfortunately. It does seem to be pointing a little bit down, so that's the very best I can do as far as the angle of the camera goes. Okay, so here we are, we're overlooking now Collaroy. Let's see if I can get in just about here, I think. Once again, it's all very experimental. I'm not sure how much of the sea you can actually see here. Let me see, I might be able to angle this just a little bit better. Did I see Annette turn up? Hi Annette, how are you? Good to see you. I'll try and get a slightly better angle so you can see the sea. Let's see, we'll just park illegally. It's a disabled spot, but that's okay, we're not going to be here very long. Right, so I can see one very hopeful person out there on a board. Oh no, that's a body surfer. Yeah, there's a couple of people it looks like out there swimming, and what I'm noticing also is that I can't reach the camera at the moment, so I can't zoom in. Yeah, there's a couple of lap swimmers out there. No surf to speak of. So that's Collaroy done and dusted. Now, typically, if we were a teenager, just got our driver's license, maybe got the use of mum and dad's car back in the late 70s, with board racks and a mate, you'd be cruising up and down between the headlands, looking for the perfect swell to go out for the morning, maybe before school. And these days, of course, you've got surf cams at every beach, and you've got the internet, so you don't need to do that anymore. All right, so let's get out and head towards Narrabeen. Bit of a busy main road, and because it's Friday morning at 7 o'clock, we are going to get a little bit of traffic as the tradies head to work. This is the peak hour for the tradies, the tradesmen. Then we'll get a little bit of a lull until the office workers start to head to work. Okay, so passing through Collaroy shopping centre, shopping strip. Up on the left here, this is Collaroy Street, and up on the left here there used to be a squash court that I did played squash at when I was about 15 years old. That's now been pulled down and turned into apartments. And typically this section of the beach gets hammered by storms and loses a lot of its sand when the storms come up and gets washed away. So what they've done is, for a small section of the beach, they've built a great big concrete wall, which the locals, who aren't the property owners right in front that benefit, are really, really angry about, because it's totally changed the beach. A lot of the year there is absolutely no sand at all, and but the property owners get to preserve their land, so they're the only ones that really benefit. It's caused huge controversy. Now I'm just going to pull into South Narrabeen, which is coming up just up ahead here. Where are we? I think it's this one. Maybe not, but that's all right. We'll pull in and have a look at the sea from here anyway. Yeah, that's okay. Can't see past this van. Okay, here we go. I used to have a friend that lived down this street. Right at the end here on the right is now a block of units, and we used to come down here when we had free periods in high school. Now you get to see here how the beach has been washed away. I might see if I can actually take the camera out of its holder and give you a better look at that. Let's park over here just briefly. All right, guys, so this is going to be handheld because I'm not going to be able to have them. It'd be just too disruptive coming in and out of the gimbal for this. But we do get to see a wave here, so I want to show you that. Here's where we get our first glimpse of a nice little surf. All right, let's get out of the car for just a second, and I'll be able to catch up with the chat as well. All right, here we go. All right, guys, your handheld. We're going to go and have a look at the surf. Not much of a sunrise to speak of this morning. But here we go. We are at South Narrabeen, looking towards North Narrabeen. And this is how the beach gets washed away in storms. And this is all remedial work that's happening here. I'm going to need a bigger car. Why? For the, how many have I got? 20 of you that are with me. We can't all fit in, can we? All right, so here we go. Here's a nice little, it's only little, it's very close, it's on shore. Okay, let's head off There we go, look at that. Beautiful. And if I come over here just momentarily, excuse the bumpiness while I walk. Yeah, I know, Ronnie. Yeah, line from George, you're going to need a bigger boat. So here we get to see the damage that gets done to the beach from the storms. All right, let's get back in the car. I'm going to try and walk as steadily as I can back to the little red car. Okay, bear with me while I pop you back in the holder on the dashboard. How do we feel about this so far? It's a bit, I need to perfect it, don't I? I need to get better at it if I'm going to do this. And I probably won't get in and out of the car. It's just a little bit too haphazard, I think, isn't it? Anyway, here's my new holder, and I'm going to pop you back in. Pop you all back in there. And just get the angle right again. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's head up to North Narrabeen and Warriewood. Get my seatbelt back on. My dashboard is telling me that it's 11 degrees out there at the moment. And as soon as this warning gets off my dashboard, I'll be able to turn the radio off. There we go. That's better. All right. Off to North Narrabeen. This is where we turn off the main road and take Ocean Street. This whole area has undergone a fair bit of redevelopment in the last 20 or so years. On the left is a pub called the Sands. It used to be called the Royal Antler Hotel. It was a big, what they used to call a beer barn, a venue for rock bands. We saw some of the biggest Australian bands in their early days at the Royal Antler Hotel in our late teens and early 20s. Bands like Midnight Oil, AC/DC played there. I think In Excess probably played there as well because they were a Northern Beaches band, but that was after my time here. So this is Narrabeen Beach that we're just passing. I won't pull in there, we'll head on to North Narrabeen. We're just passing the main street that heads down to Narrabeen Shops, which is Waterloo Street. And I know you're seeing mainly road at the moment. I'm hoping you're actually getting to see a glimpse of the streetscape as well, the types of houses that you have along the beaches here, the trees, the street trees that predominantly palms, Norfolk pines are the main kinds of trees that we get along here. And I'm really sorry I can't read your comments. I'll when we stop at North Narrabeen, I'll try and scroll back a little bit. It is a bit shaky, isn't it? I'm noticing that too. All right, we've got the garbage crew are out. I always manage to find the garbage trucks when I'm doing an early morning tour. I just noticed Lisa's name pop up again. Lisa, how's your husband doing after his bike accident? Let us know in the comments. Tell us how he's doing. This shop directly in front of us now used to be owned by an award-winning, a title-winning surfer, Damien Hardman. His eldest and my eldest children were in the same mothers group, first time mothers group. So this is North Narrabeen, which is a famous swell, and we're not going to get to see it unless I get out of the car again. So what I'm going to do is pull up somewhere where I can read your comments, and we'll make a decision on whether I get out of the car or not. How about that? Let me see if I can find a good spot to park. There isn't even that, is there? I'll go this way. So yeah, Damien Hardman ran a pie shop here. One of his customers was Kelly Slater, who ended up moving to Australia. Okay, I'm going to pull in here, back through your comments, and then we'll make a decision on whether I get out of the car and mount the camera on the gimbal, so that we can go and have a look at North Narrabeen. Because the point, of course, of this tour is looking for waves, not for car parking spots. Okay. Lisa says, been a tough 2 weeks of strength training, but it is to be done and some poorly weeks are expected. I'm glad he's making progress, Lisa. And okay, let me see. So I'm just going back through a little bit. Lisa says he's doing rather well. We are working on rebuilding the muscle strength, aiming for cane-free after Christmas. Gosh, what a long journey. Okay, all right. What do you think? Should we attempt to get out of the car? I'm thinking we should, but it is going to mean a little bit of bounciness while I mount the gimbal on the gimbal. Mount the phone on the gimbal. So if you can bear with me for that. Sorry, it's a long way. It's a long way to reach. Okay, Emily says yes. Dawn says yes. Alright, and it's a bit of juggling. So I've got to mount the phone on the gimbal mount here. It's that one there. I've got to do that. I'm going to do this as steadily as I can, and I just already stuffed it. Sorry. Okay. All right. So it's on the gimbal there. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Mount it on the gimbal. Close your eyes while I turn the gimbal on, because it's going to go skywards. Okay, need to adjust that. It's a bit wonky, but we're on. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit wonky. Let me see if I can sort that out. The microphone cord's caught on something. All right, this is all an adventure, isn't it? Lock the car. There we go. All right, we are at North Narrabeen Beach. So that's about all we get in the way of sunrise this morning. I took a chance on it. When I read the weather report, it said that there was going to be a window of about an hour where we might see the sun, and it hasn't quite eventuated. So this is it, I'm afraid. Now, we've been down to North Narrabeen Pool several times during my tours. We've never actually been to North Narrabeen Beach, and this is it here. It's a famous surf break. It's on the World Tidal Circuit. This I can't read, it's behind the perspex, but it's something to do with that. The fact that it's a World Surf Tidal beach. Very small swell today, not much of a swell at all. But there's the pool over there in the distance. So there's North Narrabeen Pool, where I've taken you to a number of times, and this is the famous North Narrabeen swell. There's only one brave soul out there at the moment, as far as I can tell. Hi, Sarah. Not a swell? No, definitely not a swell. And if we just pan along a little, this is the break right in front of us here. Very small. Not much of a swell at all today. And then we have looking towards Long Reef and where we came from, Collaroy, down in this direction here. The sky's looking pretty over there. All right, I'm going to walk towards, there's a little lookout point. We can go down and actually overlook the beach from here. Oh, look, there's two people out. One guy just came in on a wave just now. So if we're lucky, we might get to see another board rider in action when we get down here to the point, the lookout point. So this is North Narrabeen Surf Club, pretty old building, needs a bit of love, right for renovation. It's looking a bit sad at the moment. And Quinn says, enjoying the view even with the cloudy atmosphere. So look at this, look, the great little spot up here to sit and watch the surf. It's a bit rickety, but we'll take our chances. Oh, look. Box seats, yeah, absolutely. All right, when I tap the screen, I get a little bit better colour there in the sky. So what do we have at the moment? We have, I thought we had two, but I can only, I think one came out. Yeah, we're down to one surfer out there at the moment. Right out the back there. I think he's hopeful. We'll give him a chance and see if he tries for anything in the next minute or two. We're not going to hang around too long. In the meantime, here, look at this. Is it safe? Yeah, it's probably questionable, Dawn. But the things I do for you guys, huh? Oh, he's on a wave, he's on a wave. Look, let's... How'd he go? He's off again already. It didn't last long. That didn't last long. Okay. And looking very moody out here Rain is forecast for today, but not very much. All right, so this is North Narrabeen. Let's head up to Warriewood. Hop back in the car. Gosh, I might have to go backwards down these stairs. They're a bit dodgy, aren't they? Oof. And someone's left behind a bow tie. That's a bit random. Okay, one last look at the sky in this direction, overlooking the North Narrabeen pool, and then we'll head up to Warriewood. A doggy bow tie. Oh, I didn't think of that, Emily. So we can see that obviously on the gimbal is the better way to go, but it's also different to see the landscape from the point of view of the car as well. What Richard and I are hoping to do is when we are together in the car is that I'll hold the gimbal and he can drive. We'll have those opportunities from time to time as well. But they may be more recordings rather than live because the signal is just not reliable when you're out on the open road. Is that free, says Dawn, the scooter back there that we passed. It's a cute little scooter, isn't it? It's a bit chilly this morning, a bit brisk. People are rugged up, out for walks with their dogs, grabbing coffee from the coffee shop across the road. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit of a bumpy ride again while I take the camera off the gimbal and put it back onto the dashboard mount. So if you can all put up with that for a moment, and then we'll get going again. So, let's get the car started. Ooh, nice and warm back in the car. Okay, now I need to turn the gimbal off to take the camera off, so give me a few seconds while I get all of that underway again. Come on, turn off. There we go. And then back. Well, the sky looks pretty from here, doesn't it? Back on the mount. There we go. And I need to turn it so it's not looking at the mount. Right, let's get going again. Bit of Rod Stewart. Sorry, Rod, we're not going to stay listening to you. Too much music in my videos puts them at risk of YouTube saying, yeah, sorry, we're not going to show your video anywhere. I've got to go out this way. I'm going the wrong way. Okay, off we go up to Warriewood. And the reason that down in Sydney is that my brother and I are meeting up with what do you call them? I'm not even sure what they call them. Someone who's going to give my parents an assessment for home care. We've convinced my mother that it would be definitely beneficial if she could at least be in the system to have access to home care for help for various aspects of their lives as they're getting older, and just recognising that there's some things that you definitely need help with. So there's someone coming in to have a chat and assess them in a few hours from now. So that's why I'm down here to be part of that meeting. And then we're kicking on later today to see our granddaughter, Alexis. We're going to go and visit Alexis and her mother, Christina. My son will be at work, but we'll get to see them. It's school holidays. I think it's the last day of school holidays here in Australia. So we get an opportunity to catch up because they live 4 hours away from us. Rich is going to meet me along the way. He had some stuff to do last night to do with the music that he's involved with. So he stayed, and he doesn't need to be part of this meeting today either. So this is Little Narrabeen or Parramatta Beach, where we came a couple of weeks ago and walked down to the beach. That's just here on my right. And now we drive up to Warriewood. Excuse me. I'm a bit sort of, I don't know what I've got. I've got a little funny froggy voice this morning. I'm just slowly looking as I drive past to see if there's anything worth stopping for, worth stopping and taking the phone off the mount for, because I'll only do that if it's really worthwhile. Okay, so this down here is, I'm going to see if I can get a spot with a view again. How does that look? That doesn't look real bad, does it? This is overlooking Warriewood Beach. Warriewood Beach is down to the left of us from here. But the sky's looking rather lovely right now. So let's head down to overlook the beach. Sorry, I'm just reversing and I don't have very good vision from here. Okay, here we go. Garbage trucks everywhere. I seem to have found the mother lode, the nest. They're everywhere. And I think this is a hang gliding takeoff spot just here as well. So from here, if we turn right, we get to Warriewood Shops. And I don't want to describe what I'm seeing because you guys are missing out. And it's rather lovely looking out over my shoulder to the right, which is a bit of a shame. I wish there was a better way that I could show it to you. But hopefully we'll get a spot with a view right here. All right, it looks like we might have to get out of the car again, guys. Are we up for it? Are we up for that again? Because this is rather lovely. Should we do it? Are we brave? Come on, say yes. Got to do that whole gimbal thing again. Or a bit of a problem, isn't it? Okay. How annoying. That's so annoying. All right, okay. We'll give that a miss then, guys. I'm just going to do a very quick pan. We'll get back in the car. Oh, am I back? Emily says, oh, there. I'm back. All right, I'll give you a few more seconds, and I don't want to risk buffering more, but this is beautiful here. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, Ronnie Lan. All right, so you can see why I wanted to get out of the car, right? It's pretty gorgeous. So that up there is Mona Vale Headland, and Mona Vale Beach is the next beach around on the left. Really pretty. Okay, let's get back in the car. We've already gone 40 minutes. I'm down to 35% battery. Oh, to be able to paint. Yeah, I know, Tish, I know. Here, look. I'm risking the buffering again, but look here. I love how this end of the beach is really wild. Okay, let's head to Mona Vale. In fact, what I'm going to do, this will involve getting on the gimbal. We're going to go for a very short walk. And I'm hoping the battery will hold for that long. Okay, back in the car. It's really beautiful, Dawn. It is very natural, and it was one of the spots that I used to come to as a teenager. On weekends, Warriewood Beach. There we go. How does that look? Sorry, I turned the news off. We don't need to listen to the news. And there's quite a bit of traffic coming in behind me, and now there's someone walking behind me. Let me see, can I get out of here? This is the problem with these sort of parking spots, getting out again. With a big car parked beside me. I can't see a thing. Okay. Where are you going, mate? All right, I think we're safe. We're good to go. There's a bus coming. I want to get out of the bus's way. Okay, there we go. All right, and we're off again. Now this time we're going to go along a secondary road. We're heading to Mona Vale Hospital. And the reason we're doing that is that there's a spectacular view. Mona Vale Hospital was where I had my first two children. And it's also where the first whale was sighted at the beginning of the return of the whales. So when I was going to antenatal classes with my first child, so that was 32 years ago. This is how well I know my own area. Look, I pulled into a dead-end street. God, I didn't even know this street existed. Adventures with Lynn. So when I was going to antenatal classes at Mona Vale Hospital, there was a nurse called Glenys who looked out the window in the maternity ward and saw a whale, and it was a southern right whale, and it was going up the coast with her calf. So they called the whale Glenys and the calf Dennis. It's Glenys and Dennis, and that was the beginning of the return of the whales. And now there are literally hundreds of them. This is the road I want. Narrabeen Park Parade, and they call it Humpback Highway now. So we get southern right whales, we get minke whales, we get predominantly humpback whales, and also we're starting to see orcas coming as well. So the orcas hunt the humpbacks, particularly the humpback calves. And yeah, so it's just amazing to know that you've got all these whales going past now. It's incredible. So this is Narrabeen Park Parade, and it leads down to this beautiful park here with the most spectacular view. And I want to get a parking spot here if I can. People park terribly. Maybe there. You gonna let me go, mate? That's the garbage truck. Can I go? Yep. Good. All right. Okay, and we are going to walk from here. So I will be mounting on the gimbal and we're going to go for a little walk. Poor humpbacks, I know, Dawn, but you know, it's life, isn't it? You know, it's nature. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to mount on the gimbal for this little walk. What I'm debating though is whether I need to plug into a battery pack. But it's a bit windy out there, so I don't think I should. I don't think I should plug into the battery pack. I think we're just going to have to take our chances and see how far we get on the battery that I have remaining. So you've got me as long as I've got battery. Let's mount this camera again on the mount. I think that looks good. And bear with me while I turn the gimbal on again. 2 seconds, guys. Okay. I'll take my bag. Keys. And let's go for a walk. Just juggling everything at this point. Keys, gimbal, bag, and getting out of the car. Oh, hello there. Hello. I've been greeted by these two little fellows. This must be a dog off leash area. Or maybe it's puppy school. I think it might be puppy school. So we've got a paragliding and hang gliding launch site here, and this is looking towards Mona Vale Beach. I think I'm at a slight angle. I'm sorry, you're just going to have to forgive me. Well, it's not too bad. The horizon's a little bit wonky. It's not too bad. We can live with that, I think. All right, so my plan was to go for a walk alongside the golf course, which is about a 10-minute walk. I'm not sure how far we'll get along there. But look at all these doggos. What would be a tour, Emily? Going in the hang glider? Yeah, that would be a tour. All right, the breeze is up. Is it bad? Tell me if things are bad, wind-wise, noise-wise. Oh, and look out here at the moment. Oh, look at the sky. Look what the sky's doing right now. Wow, look at that. That's just gorgeous, isn't it? Good sound, thanks, Dawn. So I'm guessing you can all hear the sounds of the sea and the sounds of the birds. This is looking back towards where we just came from at Warriewood here. Very wild. Look at that. The rocky coastline. And we're going to walk along this way. We'll just get out of the puppy dog's way. They're having a ball though, aren't they? Look at them. I'm not sure if it's puppy school or if they're just sort of meeting. It's a meet-up. It's a puppy meet-up. Ah, sorry, back to look at this. We've got a few more surfers out here. I can see at the moment 4. There's possibly more. Get into a spot where I can actually look down on them. Yeah, just got the low battery warning, guys, so we know that things could end abruptly. But here, look at this. There we go. All right, let's take a little walk. Pup's playing frisbee. This is Mona Vale Hospital here in front of us now. We can see the helicopter landing pad. Excuse me. It's beautiful, Dawn. It really is. So, big controversy over this hospital as well because it sits on prime real estate. And our Conservative government several years ago almost sold this site to property developers. Fortunately, the government changed to a more social government. There we go, look at that. And that was pulled back, so they've kept the hospital in the area. They built another hospital about, let me think, about 10 kilometres from here, which means that for all the people that live on the further north of here on the peninsula, it's a lot further to travel to get to a hospital. It was a partnership, it was half private hospital and half public, and it's been a complete disaster. And meanwhile, services have been severely cut back in this hospital, meaning they don't have a casualty, they only have small, I'm not even sure what services they provide. It's very scaled back, which is a real shame. And the locals are fighting to have it restored to what it once was. So here's one of the paths down to the beach, which I'm not going to take, but we'll have a look at the beach from here. 2 steps down there. Yeah, I'm not so sure if it's a doctor's shortage or if it's just I think there seems to be enough doctors. Although anecdotally, I'm hearing that fewer people are getting into medicine as a career. but it's just the lack of funding into medicine as a whole. Why governments think that they shouldn't be looking after health? You'd think that the health would be of paramount importance, but I'm going to be. All right, I'm just seeing I'm down to 15%. So, as I said, we'll keep going as long as we can. There's a pelican flying above me. There it goes. It's a bunch of bars, I think, flying there. Thanks, Lisa. I was really happy to see you again. I obviously see your posts on Instagram, and I don't think are you on Facebook? I do see them on Instagram. And lovely to see you on a tour. Okay, Dawn says cut. Has lost the signal? I'm here next to a hospital. The signal should be good. You just don't know. Okay, looks like I might be back. But you can see my dilemma, guys. You can see why I'm always so reticent heading out on anything new. It's always a danger that I'm going to have signal issues. That little guy looked like he was having fun. And this is the path that I was going to take you on, but I don't think I'll take you the full length now because we've already been going almost an hour. So why don't I head a little way along here, because it doesn't look like it's too short. That might be a better way to go. Fingers crossed for the signal, of course. Signal doesn't look good to me. How are we going, guys? Am I still here? I just want to finish with a wave. This is a lovely way to finish. As long as the signal holds. Stay there, stay there, stay there. I didn't even know this path existed, but it's a lovely way to finish.